Welcome, welcome, welcome to Beyond the Basics, practical AI for everyday teaching. And we have our presenter back with us again. She's part of the EA family, and we cannot wait to get started. But first, just I build it up and then I'm like, but first, hi, I'm Dr. Desiree Alexander. I am the founder CEO of Educator Alexander Consulting, and I am your host for today. These are all of the different ways that you can find me. If you're watching us on the YouTube channel, no, you do not get a certificate, but yes, you do get the knowledge. And I want you to look right underneath this video in the description and grab that amazing resource that our presenter is going to be using today. All right, so what's coming up next? I think it's a whole lot of me, so I'm sorry about that, but we do have some other webinars coming up for the summer and the fall. We just haven't released them yet, but it's a whole lot of me. So it's the Take and Train Tech Series, Student Cyber Safety for the Pebble Go community meeting. Yay! You can sign up on my website for that. Then we have the Gemini webinar on Saturday, April 26th, talking about Google's AI, Gemini, and how can you use it, and that's completely free. Everything is free. Then we have Educational Leadership, SLLA, Test Prep, Logistics, and Mindset. So if you're in one of the states in the United States that have to take the SLLA exam to become an educational leader certified in educational leadership, come check that out. Then we have this webinar that's mainly just for Louisiana teachers, but it's the Pathways to Louisiana Educational Leadership Certification. So there's a whole bunch of different ways you can get certified, and I'm gonna walk you through them. Then ISTE's in June. So ISTE is coming. These are the sessions that I have so far at ISTE, so definitely come and meet me and check me out at ISTE. That is not free. And then we have the free online professional development. This is gonna be big, y'all. So July 21st through 25th, whole bunch of different presenters. I'll be one of them, doing a whole bunch of PD about creative coding and storytelling, and honestly, a whole bunch of other stuff. So definitely go to the website and check it out. Then we always have our self-paced online courses at all times. You can always go and do what you want to on those courses. Google certification, SLLA certification, support time from me, whatever you need. Whew. Tell me what you want to learn. So we are now getting more webinars for the summer and the fall. So definitely tell me what you want to learn, or if you want to present a webinar, let me know at this link. Notice that everything can be found at edalex.net/events. So oh, I know that was a lot, but this is a video. You can stop it and pause it at any time. And just go to that website. You can see everything with all the full details of everything. So I am ready to get started to learn more about, going beyond the basics of AI and really digging deep.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy that you're here on a Saturday. You're so committed. I'm even seeing some familiar faces from LinkedIn and social media. So I'm so happy you're here to spend a Saturday with me to go through this presentation. So it is game format. There is a QR code in here, but you should also have the link to it. And I'm just going to dive in and I'm just going to be doing a lot of demos and getting into it. Everything built in here is essentially a resource for you to take with you to use. There's videos embedded in here, GIFs, not because we're watching those today, just so if you're like me and you go to a webinar or a PD and you're like, wow, that was really awesome, but it's a little foggy, you can watch a video and use that information to play around on your own time. So you're welcome to follow along with me, or you can sit back, relax with your snack, your coffee, your tea, and we'll just go through everything. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, I'll try to grab those and answer those. If not, I'll pick them up at the end. And I hope you enjoy everything we're going to go through. So just to get started, if we're just going to cover some learning objectives. So everything we learned today is AI powered and, just going to provide some strategies. And this is just to streamline lesson planning do some differentiation with your students, curriculum design, and I'm all about how can we use this tomorrow or the next day, right? And I can take it and I can automatically time. And not only that, but that time also benefits my students. And then two, these are just to increase efficiency, personalize the learning experience. I have been in education for over 15 years. 10 of those years were in virtual learning environments. And I try to bring in ways that, save you time and personalize the learning experience. Students have different needs and learn in different ways. And before AI, it took a great deal of time to customize learning, and AI makes that so much easier. So just to go through some things like why is this important? How does this relate to me? But using AI, doing projects, doing some collaboration with your team to really create high quality learning experience fosters creativity, collaboration, critical thinking, and communication. And that using AI, doing projects, personalize, person and supports diverse forms of student expression in the classroom. And then we're also going beyond substitution to create more engaging and inventive learning experiences. And go through some of the research that is coming out on AI and why you should use it, why it's helpful. Really can view it as an assistant or a series of teammates, but individuals with AI finish tasks 16.4% faster. AI boost like your own emotional well-being at work. I don't know about you, but I even know some people in here, and I know that spent and they have spent like nights and weekends working to create high quality learning experiences for their students to try to get it all done, sacrificing their own personal time. And not only are you going to get finished with your tasks faster, but you are going to feel more positive. I'm all about those good vibes, improve your well being, which we all need. And they're even saying now that AI helped less experienced employees match experienced teams. I mean, so just think about that for a second. Teams with AI finished 12.7% faster than non AI teams. So the research is showing that AI is here to amplify, right, your strengths and your qualities and, to use it responsibly and that you are the decision maker. There is so much you could do. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have been there, Gregory. I mean, I've spent so much time building out presentations. I almost don't want to say how long because it's crazy. And we will be going over a slides generator today in Google. That is awesome. So if you're a Google user, or even if you're not a Google user, you can be because the slide generator is awesome. So one of the things I do is I am a contractor for Elena AI. So we are going to be going over some great Elena products, and I'm also going to be going into some Gemini and some of their new features that are really going to help you and help your PLC teams, or if you're an administrator, right, help you lead and help you collaborate even more effectively and efficiently than maybe you are now. Or maybe you're doing all of this and you're a rock star, and that's great too. So let me introduce you to Elena, and if you click any of these, they open up. The point isn't to watch this video now because I'm kind of just going to go through an overview with you, but Elena AI has 4 different tools to support educators. And we're going to get into what those tools are. But if you want to watch the video later, it just goes over the 4 tools, gives you a nice quick overview of each and how they can support you in the classroom. But if I go there and we're going to go through each of these in a little more detail, and then all of their stuff is integrated with Google, which is why we're going to do some Google goodies at the end as well. But they have Ask Elena, which is your teaching assistant. And this basically helps you brainstorm ideas, design curriculum, um, differentiate resources for your students. And there's just amazing stuff in there. And, you want to save at least 10 to 20 hours a week, I'll tell you. Um, there is a slides generator, so I'm going to go through how you can generate it. And I know there's a lot of slide generators out there, but this one actually allows you to make edits after it's done right in Google, which I really like. So I'll show you that. There's Grading Pal, and I know this is grading time, right? Some of you may be close to ending the school year or will be in May or in June, and this is a great way to automate grading and go through everything that you need to get done. And then there's Mastery Mate, and this is a project-based learning platform. So if you've been like me, where you've designed project-based learning experiences, it can take a really long time, a lot of planning work, and this is amazing how it can build out units for you. So those are basically what we're going to go through. So I want to take a look at Mastery Mate first. This video, if you're in here as a resource later, will just give you some high-level overviews that are recorded for you to watch, along with this recording that you're going to get today. But if you go there, now if you don't have an account, you can create one. The great thing is I love demoing things that, are free. You can go in there, create an account, and develop a project. So if you want to develop a project, all you have to do is a new recipe, and you either have an idea that you already want to use and you can do that, or you can go, I need ideas. And one of the great things about AI is it's here to, be your brainstorm teammate, help you think of creative ideas you can use with your students. So I already have, my stuff entered for this. So this is going to be, I want a project on the Earth's surface. I give a little more information that has to do with the standard. And this is from South Carolina because that's where I am. I'm here in North Myrtle Beach. This is grade 3 and it's for science. Let's just say I want this to be 4 days. And then I want to go to generate ideas. So now it's going to give you all of these options with the percent match. And you can decide if you like these projects, or you can even regenerate the ideas if you want, if you wanted something a little different. And whenever I hear like an escape plan or an escape room type of scenario, you have my attention. But I'm just going to pick this one for the sake of the demo. And you can start building out your unit with Mastery Mate. And so there is no other AI platform that builds project-based learning units because I'm all about, let's support skills that students need, in this world of AI. And projects really do that. And now you can really create standards aligned projects with Mastery Mate in just a few minutes. So what it's going to give you is the inquiry framework first. The great thing is it's going to give you a driving question and an essential question. And then, right, you are the decision maker. AI is not your decision maker. So the great thing is you can go through here with your PLC, with your team. You can talk about these. You can decide if you want to edit these. So you can edit with AI, or you can even make manual updates if you wish. and then you can approve them. I'm going to approve them. And then you're going to have some standards and learning goals here. And again, the great thing is, you can iterate, you can make changes, and you can do that with AI, or you can do it manually. And you can approve them. And then there's entry events. So this is basically how you're going to introduce the project to your students. And there's all of these fun, creative ideas. Eruption escape challenge, that sounds fun. Survivor stories, volcano news broadcast. So there are all these really creative ideas. And then they have a match percentage. I'm going to go with the 95% match. So you can click multiple ones or just one. I mean, just for keeping it simple, I'm going to approve one and then hit continue to next step. And then it's going to generate me a whole bunch of portfolio activities. And once these are generated, they're all developed so they really build on the learning goal and are scaffolded to lead to, a cumulative project completion. And the nice thing is it even gives you these descriptors about what it does. So these activities progressively build towards learning goals. And then with each submission contributing to the student's final portfolio. And I have 4. And what I really like about it is it's going to tell you what the final product should look like. It's going to tell you how it's aligned to the standard. And just think about how much time this takes as a teacher just to go through these, come up with all the ideas, put all this together on paper. So for the sake of this, it's going to look good, but you can kind of go through and you can see that there's a simulation, there's an escape plan, there's a journal and some safety plan, sketcher. So then I'm just going to approve this and hit continue to next step. And I mean, how many of you have spent a lot of time building out rubrics? Because I know I have. And what's really great about this is now it's going to create a portfolio rubric for you that is in aligned with everything that's been created and give you some reflection prompts. And what's great too is you can continue to refine this, or you can edit it with AI, and you can review all of the criterias and the performance levels. And then there's some reflection prompts. So it's, the end of the project reflection, and you want students to be thinking about those things. And again, you can edit it every step of the way. I'm going to go ahead and approve these. And then I can publish the recipe. And what's great is if you need tips or you have questions, all of these resources pop up here, and you can, after it's already done, edit it still. You can share it or you can download it as a PDF. And then what's great is you have all of this written out. You can, if you're going to do this project, you already have this. So if your administrator asks you for it, everyone on your team is on the same page and you have this wonderful project ready. Is there any questions on Mastery Mate? Okay. Now you have this project, right? But now you're going to have to build out some of these things for it. And the great thing is Elena has a lot of options for you to do that. And, you can also, with Google integration, even get it into Google and further create what you need. So I know someone in the chat, Gregory, was talking about manually creating presentations in PowerPoint. I have manually created countless presentations in Google Slides. So I do want to show you, and the great thing about this presentation is everything's essentially linked in here. So this will take you to where you need to go to install. But Elena AI for Google Slides is an add-on in Google Slides. So you'd want to install it. And once you have it added, it's going to show up in the extensions bar in Google Slides. So you can see it right here, Elena AI for Google Slides. And then you're like, okay, so I have this beautiful project, right? And now we want to build on that. Like I need a presentation for my students. You can go to create a new presentation. And then this one is going to be on plants. So what plants need to thrive? And then I have the prompt. And what's great here is you can pick the number of slides you want. You can add an attachment. So if you have any information or something that you had in the past, like Gregory, if you have materials that you've had over the years and you want to attach them here, or write a PDF from a handout that you have with charts and graphs, you can upload it here. And then there's some advanced options, which I really love because they really can add or help you customize your slide presentation, right? So you can turn on speaker notes and you'll have some talking points. You can turn on AI generated images. You can customize, like if you want it short, medium, or long in terms of the text. You can do web research mode, which will basically pull in, information from the web. And then I'm just going to leave them at default for now, but I did turn on speaker notes just to kind of show you what that looks like. And I'm going to hit create presentation. And then you have all these templates to choose from. This looks pretty. And I'm going to have it create the presentation. Yes, it can. And I can even show you too some of the tools for that, for accessibility, but absolutely. And we'll get into that. Great question. So it's just going to take like a minute or two to, create your presentation. Okay, so now we have this presentation. What plants need to thrive? And what I really love about this is you can go back up to extensions and edit the presentation with AI because listen, you all, you don't want to use the first thing that AI creates for you, right? As the educator, as a team of people, you're going to need to go through this, check it, change some things, personalize it, or add some things for your group of students. All right, but look at this. you already have a presentation that's built. And you can insert a new slide, rewrite slide text, change the slide layout, find better images, and remix slide theme. So let's just say I wanted to rewrite the slide text. I can go in here, and this is where I want to read this question out loud for the video recording and just for everybody who's here. I got a question about, how can this help students, who speak a language other than English? Is there any translation? And I can show you this more and more as we go through. But if you see here, there's a button right here that says translate language. And then you have the option to select a language. So Sandra said Spanish. So I'm just going to select that and hit submit. And now the whole slide's in Spanish. I'm going to go back and, you could even like, as the teacher, you could go like, oh, I want to make a copy of my slide. I want to duplicate it, right? And then I want to translate this whole slide into Spanish. And then you have one slide in English and one slide in Spanish. And what's even great about this sidebar, you all, if, you want to go through and build out slides one by one with the edit presentation with Elena sidebar, you can do that. So then you can, sort in the text in the presentation. You can make it longer and make it accessible. And what I love about this is you don't need to have a million tabs open. Like, let's say, I don't like this image. I can go back to my sidebar and I can go find better images. And then just say, I'm just going to keep it simple and say, and I want a really healthy plant because this is all about what plants need to grow in their environment. And it will let you search images, add them in here, and you can even load more. And Elena has a slide generator, so you could even generate images for your presentation with the image generator. But this sidebar essentially allows you to go through and, customize your presentation. Like, what if I wanted to add a state standard here? You'd go to add a new slide, and then I'm just saying, add the state standard. And make it slide 2. And then you go down and it will insert the slide for you. So there is so much you can do right here. Be in Google, and I have been a Google certified trainer for many years. And it inserted my slide for me. And you just want to check it and then you're good to go. So it's really great that you can come in here and customize a little bit, polish it, and get ready to share it with your students with all of Google's great share settings. So that's a little overview of how you can build out slides quickly and customize them for the students. And what's great is there's a video in here for you that will walk you through it. It even goes into a little more detail than I did during this presentation because I just wanted to give you a lot of great tools that you can try and you can use. I know all of our classrooms, so it's great to have a lot of different options. So then you have Ask Elena, and there's Chat with Me, Differentiate It, Design Curriculum, and you can create images. And like everything in this presentation, it's all interactive. It will navigate you to each place you want to go. So this is Chat with Elena. And this is where you can create custom resources that are differentiated for where you can design curriculum like lesson plans, rubrics, a quiz, if you want a syllabus, and then you can create images for your handouts, for your presentations, for your projects. Before I take you on a tour of Chat with Me and some of the things you can do in there to continue to build out things you need for your class, things you need to communicate. If you're working on a project, how you can use it to, build out pieces of your project for your students. I just want to go over some prompting as a strategy. So if you aren't getting, the results from AI that you want, it's to give it some foundational information so you can get a higher quality output. So just give it a little bit of context, provide relevant background information, give it a role. Who is this for? In your case, what is it for students? If so, what's the grade level? The audience. And, for role too, tell them about you. You're a teacher or I'm an administrator. A little bit about what you do, the format it is, do you want it in bullets? So I think that's important. Like, what are you looking for? And then the tone for your audience. There's casual, there's professional, there's so many different tones, like friendly. So I'd always keep that in mind. If you just give it one word, you know, you probably won't get as great of a response as if you really thought through and gave it a couple like high quality sentences with some background. So now I'm going to go into Chat with Me. Because if this is all about projects, right, and things you could use tomorrow, things that save you time, if you go into Chat with Elena, this is so robust. So you're going to see this navigation bar down the left-hand side, and there's planning. So there's going to be a whole lot of options here. So, there's options for IEP, real world examples, lesson plans, SEL, and then there's communication. If you've spent a lot of times, I know I have, making a newsletter, writing and responding to families, to your administrator. There is so much you could use, writing letters of recommendations or thank you notes. This really can save you a lot of time and give you a starting point that you can work with to send to families. And then there's content creation, assessment tools, instructional support. So look at accommodations. There's a debate. So I would really encourage you, if you have a little bit of time, to, play around with some of this, or you could also follow along with me, but there's student engagement options, and I love games and quizzes. Like there's escape rooms. So if you have built out your project and now you need like to build out the escape room, you can come in here, work with Elena to create your escape room activity. So I'm just going to give it a prompt. And this is just about a storm has changed the landscape. I've given it a little background about the audience. And then what's really great is it's going to ask you a couple of questions. And it says, now that we have the theme in place, would you like to include any specific puzzles or challenges? And then I can just go, please suggest some ideas. And you can talk to Elena. You can add attachments here. And now she's going to go ahead and give me some great ideas. And I really like this interactive map. And now in just a couple of minutes, me going back and forth with Elena, she is going to literally help me create an escape room, which is amazing. I know I've spent hours doing this for my students and for the staff that I've trained. And then you could do Jeopardy. You just give it a prompt. And in here, this is for 6th grade Earth Explorers. I give it a couple examples. And then, she's just going to ask you questions to make sure she gets it right, which I love. And then I have some vocabulary ready for her. I know many of you have vocabulary lists, like you could upload one here. I'm just going to copy them in. And then I'm going to say yes. And then she's just going to get started giving me all of this information I need for my Jeopardy game. And I love this so much. So I know there was that question just about supporting students. And this really gets into the piece where, we have students in our classrooms that read at different levels, they speak a different language. So if you go to differentiate it, and there is this video here where I actually demo this as well, so you can always watch that and play around. But this can pretty much take a topic, link, file, anything, and differentiate your resources for you. Probably one of the things that takes the most amount of time when you have, so many students in your or in your sections of classes and they need different supports. So basically what I did is I have this link from Khan Academy, and it's a video on ecosystems. And I really want to have it differentiated. So I just gave it the link and I'm going to next step. And I'm just entering some basic information, 4th grade, physical science. Yes. And then you have options, right? So you can do it by language and pick languages. So again, going back to that question we have where you can go through, pick the language, and you can, put it in Spanish. And you can do it for multiple languages. Yay. And you can just go through here and let's just see what this looks like. Oh, and I love it because it makes me label these so I know exactly what they are. And hit submit. So now I have the English pathway, I have Spanish and French. And what's really great is I have all this information here and it's so easy. I can just go up here, I can copy it. Oh, I can adjust the length. I mean, I love it. So any resource that you want to differentiate, you just go here, enter it in, and you have all of that information. And then you have all of these options down the side. What? What? I love it. I'm getting excited. But you can literally click these and you have so many other options in literally seconds. And there's then so much, not only I can differentiate, right? But then I can put it in so many different formats. Does anyone have any questions so far? Okay, I'm going to keep going. So for curriculum, there are a whole bunch of options, and I always want to make sure that there's resources so you can go and do this at your organization, on Monday. Don't do it over the weekend unless you're really excited. But you can, build a lesson plan. So I know a lot of schools make you submit a lesson plan before you teach it. There's a rubric generator. Let's just see how it works. So I'm just going to put in Earth's changing surface. This is for 6th grade. And I'm going to go to get started. And then I have my prompt. And remember, just fill out the information, be clear about what you're wanting. Spend a little bit of time to create something so you can get a higher quality result. And then you can pick your options. I'm going to put analytic, but there's a checklist. There's a lot of choices here. And I'm just going to say a 4-point scale and generate. And look at this. You can even regenerate it. So anything that you need to for your project or for your students, more generally speaking, you can come in here and build it out. And I'm just going to go to continue to next step. And then what I love is AI is about iteration, right? We may need to make some edits to this. There's even some suggestions, and you can go into this sidebar here and go back and forth and really get this to, what you want it to be. And then you can download it. You can save it. And then what I really like is you can export it to Google Docs. And then it becomes shareable with your team, with your students. And then you can even pretty it up, right? You can add some colors here. It will take a couple of minutes. And then you have a great resource in Google Docs for your students. Okay. So then there's Grading Pal. And this is the final product. I know many of you are grading right now, grading projects, submissions, or will be doing a lot of grading as the semester comes to an end. So I do think it is really beneficial to show you Grading Pal. I've seen a lot of things that grade for you, where you can get in there and edit. So this is the Grading Pal homepage. These are classes that I already have, but for the sake of this demo, I'm going to add a class, and you can import your classes from Google Classroom, which is awesome, or you can manually create a class. And I'm just going to say US history, and this is for grade 11. And then I'm going to pick the subject. Like, nope. If I could find it, I'm going to put social studies, and then I'm just going to hit create the class. And I'm going to add the assignment. And what's really great, you all, I know I used to do video assignments with my students, and this will also grade video and audio student submissions, which blew my mind, honestly, because I spent so much time, viewing student videos. So I just want to show you the assignment I have for students to complete, which is South Carolina's role in the Civil War. It's an essay assignment. And then you're going to want to, upload the assignment. And I'm just going to go to create a rubric. You can also check these, regenerate it. I mean, there's just so many options, ways to customize it. And I'm going to create. And then I'm going to upload a student submission from my device, which I have ready. And then I'm just going to add myself as the student. Oh, it's already enrolled. And then I'm going to assign the submission. And what's really awesome is it's literally going to grade it right now. It's going to show in progress. It's going to grade everything. And then it gives you a really comprehensive grade score and pulls evidence like from the student's essay. So let's view it. And you can see the total points. And then you can click the evidence. Like, this is how AI justified the score. But like anything, you can edit or copy these. And then there's even overall student feedback that, again, you can edit or copy, targeted feedback comments, and then you can mark it as reviewed, return the submission, and you get a PDF. So, if you want to email that to the student or to the family, it's amazing, it's quick, it's detailed, and it allows for you as the teacher to personalize grading, right? I mean, you want to make sure you review all this, change anything. You are the teacher and the decision maker. So now, I really love, before we go, is Gemini just released Canvas, and they have deep research. And I love this for teams. I mean, and for yourself, right? But I really love it because when you're working with AI as a teammate, it's an iterative process. And you want to make sure that you can get in there and make edits, make it longer or shorter, and then be able to, get in a call with your team, or you're working with your team, and like work on some of this. So I'm going to give it a prompt just about like, you're a fifth grade team and you're trying to come up with a unit on ecosystem. So what you want to do is hit Canvas and send it. It goes all the way to through higher ed. Great question. So then I love this because it opens up. And what you could do is there's this sidebar here. So if you're working with this and you want to change the length, you can change the length. You can change like it to more formal, very casual, casual. And there's all these options here. It will even start to, make comments on itself, which is really great. So, I mean, this is really where you can get in here and you can start to edit this unit and work together. And you can even ask Gemini highlight sections and ask it to change small portions, right? Because how many times are you working with AI and you're like, oh, this is really awesome down here, but up here needs some work. So you can get in here and edit it. You can export it to a doc. You can copy it. And then there's even a share link. So this makes it viewable. So you could have like 4 members of your team, give them the link, and you could be, the scribe, and you all could be going through here on your computers and working together to get this thing done. Or you can export it to Google Docs and work on it a little more there. So I really love using Canvas for collaboration and real-time edits, and that it's integrated with Google Docs. Because now, look at you have this in a Google Doc and you have all the power of Google. Now, my workspace has Gemini integrated, so I can even go a step further and use that. So, I mean, there's just so many possibilities, and this is a great feature. But then there's research, right? Because a lot of times make sure, we're making research-based choices that our information is accurate and correct. And I'm just going to put in my prompt. I'm going to let that think. And since we only have a few minutes, what I did incorporate for you are a bunch of videos on Gemini in Workspace for slides, sheets, docs, Gmail, Drive, and chat. So what I will challenge you to do is to check out how powerful Gemini is in the G Suite by checking out some of these videos. And these are just like an extra resource for you to take with you to watch what it can do for you, because I literally made a calendar invite for my G day and I felt like I was in love. Yes, Elena is free for educators. You can use Gemini Canvas for free and research. Like I don't pay for Gemini. I have upgraded ChatGPT. So almost everything. The only thing about Gemini and Workspace is that, your organization would want to approve that. I have it in mind. And then look at all this research Gemini is giving you on ecosystem. So think about team planning. I mean, these are all clickable. It's going to write out all of this information for you, instructional strategies and activities, inquiry-based learning, the research that supports that. Absolutely. I can add the link in the chat for you. Look at all the websites you can explore. So just think about all this information now that you can get from one prompt and do it for free. I mean, this is incredible. No more scrolling the, the textbook, all of that. Thank you so much. And then just to end, I'm Michelle Klein. I did add a bonus directions on how to create your own avatar just because it's fun. I put so much information on LinkedIn and X to support educators and just support the field. And you can also visit my website. I really hope you enjoyed the presentation and have a lot of practical things that you can use with your students. Hi, Rachel. And that's it. And I'm going to turn it back over to you. That's right.
Thank you so much. That was so fun just seeing all of the different resources. And I love free. So seeing all the great resources. I think the only thing, like you said, the Gemini in Workspace, your district or organization has to have Education Plus or Google Workspace Plus. So just keep that in mind. But everything else, I love all the free tools, and actually doing a deep dive into them is so awesome because sometimes you just get a list. It's like, hey, here are the list of things, and you're like, okay, I don't know when I'm gonna have time to play with it, but thank you. So giving actually showing us like the actual tool is awesome. So just thank you for another amazing webinar.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I hope everyone has an amazing weekend.